There's this one trading strategy that I use every single day. It's stupid simple and it works every day. And it's the reason why I've been consistently making profits like these, and these. This strategy, what I'm about to share with you, is so simple that even a complete beginner couldn't mess it up. And I'm gonna share everything in just 3 simple steps. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into the video. Now, because I want to be transparent, I want to tell you that I use this strategy at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because that's when the New York Stock Exchange opens. And by the way, you can use this strategy in every single market because this strategy is universal. But let's move on to the step number 1. It is finding areas of liquidity. Why? Because quite frankly, liquidity is something that can switch the whole market direction. Let's say this is our liquidity right here. And then the market is in a bullish uptrend like this. It moves in higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? It's going up. And when the liquidity gets swept, there's a huge possibility that the trend will actually switch its direction like this. So we don't want to miss this because most people do not know what is liquidity and where is it at. That's why they become liquidity. They have their stop losses here and then boom, price takes them out and then they lose money. So by marking these liquidities out, we know where's the price most likely going to reverse. This also gives us plenty of buying or selling opportunities. But you may wonder, what the hell is liquidity? Liquidity is like liquid cash in the markets. It's resting orders that these big banks, institutions, and hedge funds, the market movers, want to take. And then once they take it, they can fill their large position, and that's when you see the market trend switch, okay? Where does liquidity rest in the market? Well, it rests above highs and below lows. And it's very easy to spot. I'm going to show you very soon. And remember to spot them in higher time frames because higher time frames just hold more power and influence. It just makes more sense, right? Now, obviously, you may wonder what the hell is a high and what the hell is a low. Well, a high and a low takes 2 candles to form. High takes 2 candles to form and low takes 2 candles to form. A high is being created by an up candle that is immediately followed by a down candle and it rests above here. The liquidity is literally here, especially in the higher time frames. And a low takes 2 candles to form. Down candle followed by an up candle, and this is the low resting here. So it's very simple to spot, right? So essentially those liquidity areas in the higher time frames are going to be our take profits because most likely once those get swept, then it's most likely going to reverse the price, and that's when it's time to exit the markets, right? But now we need to know how to actually make money. Well, that's where step number 2 comes in play. So step number 2 is to locate the current trend. Now this is pretty much a strategy. Liquidity is gonna be our take profits, and all we gotta do is follow the trend, and this is where the money comes in play. So essentially, what are these trends? There's pretty much 3 trends in the markets. 3, right? There's the uptrend, downtrend, and consolidation, right? We don't want to be focused on consolidation because consolidation is caused by equal amount of buyers in the markets, so it means it's gonna push the price in same direction or no volume. So this is where the money is not being made, but this also happens for a reason. I'm gonna explain more details in the later of this video, but we're gonna be focused on uptrend and downtrend because these we can actually follow in the markets. Let me show you how it's done. So as you can see, these are the 2 trends. There's the uptrend and there's the downtrend. On uptrend, we're going to be focused on buying because we want to follow the markets to the upside, and downtrend, naturally, we're going to want to be selling because the price is already going down. So the natural move is to follow the trend to the downside, right? Now we have to understand how does the trend actually move. The uptrend moves in higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Okay, simple as that. Downtrend moves in low lows, lower highs, low lows, low highs, and low lows. Very simple, effective, and it continues in that cycle until there's the liquidity, right, that we talked about. But I'm going to explain you exactly very soon how you can actually spot them in the markets, etc., how it's going to happen. But first of all, we have to understand how to actually follow this trend efficiently. So there's pretty much 2 things that cause the trend to be a trend. There's the big move and a small move. As you can see, big move, small move. And the big move is called an impulse and the small move is called a retracement. When there's an impulse followed by a retracement, that's when the high appears. Remember what we talked about in the liquidity as well. The high takes 2 candles to form. Up candle followed by down candle. So technically this is liquidity, but this is in the very lower time frame. It's not going to be that detrimental. It's not going to have that much influence and power. So that's why we can just follow it. So what happens? When the high appears and then an up candle body, the fat part of the candle closes above the most recent high that appeared here, That's gonna be something called a BOS, break of structure. Why? Because that's pretty much a candle closure above the most recent high. You can just buy the markets right here, and you're gonna target the liquidity, okay? And obviously make sure that the restore ratio is good, okay? And same in the downtrend. When there's the impulse and retracement, that's essentially a down candle followed by an up candle. That's when the low appears, and when the new impulse appears and it actually closes below the most recent low right here, that's when break of structure appears, BOS. And that's when I can potentially enter the markets, because that's a great opportunity. That's a great indication that the trend is still very strong and there's sellers in the market, so I'm going to sell right there. Or I can patiently wait for a retracement or an order block entry or a fair value gap entry or something like that, okay? But now it is time to move to step number 3. It is time to backtest the strategy so you can use this every single day. Because if you have seen my YouTube channel, I literally take these trades almost every single day, and I use this strategy in the markets, okay? You're gonna go check those recaps later after this video, but it's now time to learn. It's now for you time to actually bank off these markets. Now, as you can see, this is a very strong trend in the 1 minute time frame. I'm currently in the 1 minute time frame. So this is a high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high highs, okay? This is what? Consolidation. We don't want to be trading this. So we gotta just be patient and wait for the price to actually start moving this way. This right here is a what? Up candle followed by down candle, aka an impulse followed by a retracement. This is already a strong trend. There's a lot of buyers in the markets. I could potentially buy the markets right here. Let's see. I'm gonna buy right here, technically, because this is a replay mode, obviously. But I'm gonna very soon show you a actual trade that I took using this strategy. But as you can see, this is an up candle closure above the most recent high. So what is that? A break of structure. So this is a buy right here. This is a buy. And remember, I only would take this if this is a strong trend, which it is. So I would buy right here. I'll put the stop loss below this order block right here. So this example is just to show you how you can follow the trend when the trend is already strong. So let's say I'm just gonna, for this example, 1 to 2 restore ratio. Normally I would target liquidity, but this is just to show you how you can follow the trend. As you can see, this is the trend movement is very strong, and I would buy right there, and bang, there we go. And obviously, just to be as transparent as possible, I'm gonna show you a trade that I took yesterday using this exact strategy, literally following the trend and targeting liquidity as my take profit. And here's the clip if you want to see. But here's exactly what happened. I made total almost $1.9 thousand on that day yesterday. So this is pretty much what happened. This is a very, very strong downtrend. Low lows, low highs, low lows, low highs, low lows, low highs, and low lows. But what happened is I saw that this trend continuously respects the downtrend, because there was previously liquidity taken and I lost one trade taking an MSS entry to the upside. But that's okay, because I eventually made more money on that day because I took this trade right here. Our winners must outweigh our losses always. So I see that the liquidity got disrespected. There was liquidity taken here. So that means that there's a lot of selling pressure right now in here. So this continues in low lows, low highs. When it created this low high, I wanted to see a mini push down right here, and I entered straight on the money, and I put my stop loss above this fair value gap right here. And pretty much straightforward, this low right here was the take profit for me in this trade. This is a 1 hour time frame low, down candle followed by an up candle. So this is the low. And as you can see, the take profit got hit, the 1 hour time frame low got hit, and that was my take profit, and this is the total P&L for that day. Beautiful as it is. Now you know the basics of my strategy, but let's be completely real. This video was just the surface. Now you need to learn about top-down analysis, market structure shifts, and all that good stuff, how to play with time frames, and it may seem a little bit confusing, but don't worry. This is the beginner level. Now it's time to take your trading to the next level. If you want to become profitable and you want to learn completely for free, then click the first link in the description. It will take you to my free course. Imagine that. But hey man, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and as usual, I will see you on the other side. Peace out.